Welcome to RAS classes. Today we discuss about the function in C. Function in C. First of all, what is function? Function is nothing but the block of statements. Block of statements which executes to perform a specific or a particular task. It's a block of statement. You can see some statements are there which will execute. It's under a block. So it's a block of statement which execute to perform certain task or particular task. Suppose I am taking one sum function. Clear? This is sum of two numbers. Suppose I have two numbers. Clear? So some statements will be there under this function, this block. This will execute and it will calculate the sum of two numbers. Clear? Same, suppose I am taking multiplication function to calculate multiplication of two numbers. Then there will be some statements which will execute to perform what? This multiplication. Clear? So it's a block of statement which execute to perform a particular task. Clear? Now we see what is the advantages. Advantages of using function. Using function. Why we will use the function? What is the advantages of using function? Clear? Just see. First advantages is program size becomes small. Program writing become easier. Clear? Second one is error debugging. Error debugging become easier. That means error correction and debugging become easier. You can see error correction and debugging become easier. Clear? Just see. Then third is the important point. I will tell later. Just see. Program size becomes small. How program size becomes small? Using function. You know, C is a procedure oriented programming language, or you can say it's a function oriented programming language. It's a function oriented programming language. That means a large program is divided into small parts or procedures, or you may call it as functions. So it's a function oriented programming language. Large program divided into small blocks, that is called functions, to perform a particular task of each block. Clear? Now see how program size becomes small using function. How it will be? Just see. Suppose I'm writing, you just see small code. Suppose this is main function. Inside main function, I have to perform addition operation, subtraction operation, This is multiplication operation and division operation. Clear? Suppose in a program I want to perform these arithmetic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Suppose, let us consider for addition operation I am writing 10 lines of codes. How many lines? 10 lines. And for subtraction same 10 lines for each. Each operation, suppose 10 lines. Clear? Now see, if I will perform these operations once, then I have to write how many lines? 40 lines. Total 40 lines. Clear? This is 10, 10, 10, 10, 40 lines total. I have to write. If I have to what? Do these operations once in my program. Addition once, subtraction once, multiplication once, division. But you just consider. Here I am not using any function. Just consider, if I will call this addition operation 5 times. If I have to perform this addition operation 5 times, then I have to write how many lines? 10 into 5, 50 lines. Clear? How many lines for addition operation? 50 lines. Suppose subtraction operation, this is occur 2 times. Clear? Then I have to write 20 lines. Clear? Suppose this is again 2 times. This will be 20 lines. Suppose this is 1 time. And this is 10 lines. Total is 50 plus 20 plus 20 plus 10. This is 100 lines. Total, how many lines I have to write? 100 lines. 100 lines. Clear? Any doubt? Suppose I want to perform addition operation 5 times. 10 lines is, so 50 lines of code. Subtraction operation 10 lines, 2 times, then 20 lines. Then multiplication 10 lines, 2 times, then it will be 20 lines. Same division, suppose 1 time, this is 10 lines. Total 100 lines I have to write. If I am not using any function, only main function is there. Clear? So, if I am using function, then what will happen? Just see. This is your main function, suppose. And I am using functions. Suppose this is my addition function. Inside addition function I am writing 10 lines. I have already told 10 lines of code for each operation. So for subtraction I am just writing 10 lines. For multiplication same 10 lines. Clear? Then suppose division, for division same 10 lines. Clear? And to perform these many times, I will just call those functions. What is the advantages? How program size becomes small? Just see. Suppose I want this addition operation 5 times. So I will call addition function 5 times. Clear? Addition function 5 times I will call. This is 5 times. Then subtraction function suppose 2 times. Multiplication function suppose 2 times. And division function suppose 1 time. I have taken. Now we calculate. Instead of using 100 lines of code, using function, how many lines of code I am writing? You can see, this is pipeline, this is 2 lines, this is 2 lines, this is 1 line. So total 5 plus 2 plus 2, this is 1. Total is 10 lines of code. Clear? Total 10 lines of code. Here I have defined all the functions. So this is 10 line each. So total 40 line. This is total 40 lines. And this is 10 lines. Total 50 lines. Now you can see and compare, the program size become what? Small. There were 100 lines. Here it is what? 50 lines only. If same thing, if if you are doing some program, large program, then many times one function will be called. If you are doing some project, then many times many functions will call in a different time interval. Suppose some addition function you are doing, some addition operation, after that you are doing some subtraction operation, after that you are doing some multiplication operation, after that again you want some addition operation, same addition operation of 2 numbers, then you are just 1. Then what will do? So this is the advantages of using function. The program size become small. First thing, you just compare. Okay. Then program writing become easier. As program size becomes small, it is easy to write some program. So, small amount of code we have to write. We need not have to write all 100 lines. We will write only 50 lines. Our work will be done. It is easy to write the program. Clear? Now you can see error debugging or correction. Error correction or debugging become, correction means error correction or debugging become easier. Suppose how this error debugging become easier. Just see. Here without using function, there is what? How many lines of code? 100 lines of code. Suppose some error occurred at multiplication part. Suppose multiplication result is not coming. Multiplication result is not coming and it's showing some error. It's giving some wrong output in case of multiplication. Then if you are not using function, in this case you have to check each line and you have to debug that error. So you have to check total 100 lines where those multiplication coding is there. You have to check each line. Understood or not? So you have to, in this case, if you are not using function, you have to check 100 lines of code. But see, if you are using function, clear? If you are using function and some multiplication result is a fault or there is a problem in the multiplication part, then you need not have to check the addition function. You need not have to check subtraction function. You need not have to check division function. Clear? You will directly go to the multiplication part and and you will check only 10 lines. Instead of checking 100 lines, you will only check 10 lines of code. Clear? So error correction and debugging become easier. Clear? Then last one is very important, reusability of code. Reusability of code. As the name suggests, reusability. That means you will write once and use multiple times in a different time interval. Clear? You can write once and use multiple time in a different time interval. Different time interval. As I have already told, that suppose addition function, I have called, then multiplication, then subtraction, then suppose I want the addition function in a different time interval I want to call, then I need not have to write 10 lines again and again. Only I will call that function and it will go to the definition part, so that it will do that operation. Clear? So I will write this function part only once and I will call that function again and again in a different time interval. This is the most important advantages of using function. Reusability of code. Write once and reuse again and again in a different time interval. Clear? Now see a small example. Are you clear? Just see. Let us see a small example. This is a very small example I am writing to add two numbers. You just see, hash include stdio.h, then integer, then void, this is add, then this is semicolon, then integer main. Then suppose I am just calling this add function. I am calling the add function here, then return 0, then this is the end of main, and just I am defining this function. Suppose I am taking integer a, b, c, then suppose a equal to 5, b equal to 10, c equal to a plus b, and suppose I am just printing printf sum equal to %d, then c. This is small program, very easy program. To add two numbers. Here I have already taken initialize it to assign the values 5 and 10 to a and b respectively. You can input like printf enter two numbers, then scanf %d, then again %d, then ampersand a, ampersand b. You can do like this. Input through scanf. Okay. Then we have to add a and b, and we have here we have displayed this the sum. Clear? Now you can see I have called this addition function here. Clear? Then it will go to this part. Clear? And then these statements under this block, under this addition block, will be executed to perform a specific task. So I have told the definition, that is, it's a block of statement which execute to perform certain task. Clear? So here in addition block, I have defined all the codes or logic part so that it will add two numbers. We have to input two numbers, then we have to add. Clear? Now see, before explaining this program, just see parts of function. Parts of function. This is user-defined function. User-defined function. We'll go what is user-defined function after this. Just write down. So parts of a function is, first is function declaration or prototype. Second one is function calling or invocation. Function calling or invocation. Third one is function called or function definition. So total three parts are there: function declaration or prototype, function calling or invocation, function called part or function definition part. Here in this example you just compare. This is the function declaration part. This is the function declaration. This is the function calling part. And this is the function definition part. Clear? Now see, what is function declaration, what is function calling, and what is function definition or called part. There are three parts. In main function, from main function, you are calling this addition function. You can see in declaration part there is semicolon. At end of declaration of this function, there is semicolon. You just see, this is very important. At the end of a declaration part, there is semicolon, or you can say at the end of prototype of function, there is semicolon. At the end of calling part, there is semicolon. But you can see there is no semicolon at the end of definition header part. Why? You know, in C, each statement ended with a semicolon. Each statement ended with a semicolon. So this is the prototype of function. This statement ends here. So you are giving semicolon here at the end. You are calling this function from here. This statement ends here. The below line statements does not come under this statement. So this addition function calling part is ending here. You are giving semicolon. Here you are giving semicolon. But you can see this function definition part. This line not ends at this point. It is ending at this point. With this ending curly braces, this function definition part ends. If it will end here, then you may give semicolon, but it is not ending here. It is ending at the end of this curly braces. So, as some lines of code or some statements coming under this statement, so we are not giving any semicolon here at the end of this definition. You know, in each statement, do you give semicolon here? No. In while, are you giving semicolon here? No. Why? Some statements coming under this if. Some statements coming under while. While is not ending here. While is ending here. It is ending here. So you are not giving semicolon here. If it will end in that line, then you will give semicolon. If you will give semicolon here, compiler will just see that there is semicolon at the end of it. So this statement will not come under this if. This will be outside if. So this will be wrong output. It will give wrong output. So generally we are not giving any semicolon at the end of if. Same as end of while, we are not giving any semicolon. Same as some statements are coming under this block, so we are not giving semicolon because it is not ending here. This is very important. Then this is the function declaration or prototype. It tells to the compiler that what is the return type of the function. This is the return type. We'll discuss what are the components of a function. This is the return type. This is the function name. This is the function name. Add is the function name. Add is the function name. Clear? And there is no parameter. There is no parameter or argument passed. Clear? So we are giving only parenthesis. Open parenthesis and close parenthesis. How will you know that it's a function? If there is with the name, if there is open parenthesis and close parenthesis is there, then we will consider it as function. You can see integer main. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis is there. So main is a function. Same as addition, this add is a function. With name, there is open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Same here is a function. Clear? So with function name, there will be one open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Inside that, some argument may be there, may not be there. Clear? That is to our requirement. But this is a function name. This is the identifier. This is a identifier. What do you mean by identifier? Which identify something. So it's identifying some function. This is addition function. It's identifying. So it's an identifier. It's a name. Clear? You can give any name. Here you can write ADDITI1 addition, no problem. Sum, no problem. Anything you can. But you have to obey the rules of identifier. Naming one function name or a variable name. You have to follow the rules of identifier for naming this function. Clear? Now, you are calling this function here. You are calling inside main. When you are calling, compiler will check what is the prototype of this function, what this function returning, which type of value, what is the function name, and which type of value is you are passing and how many arguments you are passing. It will check. So there is a function prototype is there, from where it will be clear that it is PART returning nothing, and return type is void. So it is not passing any argument, and function name is add. So after this it will go directly to the definition part, where our actual code is there. Actual statement or logic part is there. Clear? So it will come to this definition part. Here it will match the definition part with this declaration part. If it will mismatch, then it will show the error. So this definition part, heading part, this definition heading part should be similar to what? Should be similar to what? Function declaration or prototype. This is function declaration. So function definition heading part should be equal or similar to what? This function declaration. You can see this is void, this is R, this is parenthesis, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Only in function prototype there will be semicolon. Here it will not. Clear? Now see, I have taken 3 variables here. Then you can input through scanf 2 variables, or you can directly assign. I have assigned here. Then C equal to A plus B, it will be 15. Then it will display sum equal to percentage DC, that means it will display sum equal to 15. Clear? Now see, what is function declaration? How to declare a function? All of you understood? Now see, how to declare function. Whether this is the declaration of function. Declaration of function. Whether you will pass argument or parameter to a function or not, according to that, it is divided into 2 categories. That is, function without argument or parameters. Argument or parameters. Second, function with arguments or parameters. Clear? How to declare? What is the syntax to declare a function? This will be return type, then function name, then open parenthesis and close parenthesis, then semicolon. This is how you will declare one function. This is the declaration of function. This is syntax. For example, suppose I am returning integer type value, then int, then function name, suppose multiplication mul I am taking, and there is no parameters or arguments. This is one example. This is the syntax and this is the example. Same, function with argument or parameters. Suppose, what is the syntax to declare this type? This is the return type, then function name, then this will be argument type, argument 1, space argument 1, comma, argument type, argument 2 like this, argument type, then argument n. You can pass multiple arguments like argument 1, argument 2, argument 3 like this, but you have to give the argument type. This, for example, you may take, this is suppose integer, same example I am taking, return type is integer, multiplication function I am taking, and argument, suppose I am taking integer, then suppose variable is a, then integer b, like this. 2 arguments suppose I am passing. Okay. This is the declaration of a function. Clear? If you are passing some argument, then you have to give argument type, argument 1, argument 2, like this, multiple arguments you can pass. Or if you are not passing any argument, only open parenthesis and close parenthesis. And this return type or argument type, this is any primitive data type or any user defined data type you may use. Clear? Like primitive data type means integer, character, float, double. Clear? Or any user defined data type like structure, union, enum, you can pass this type. Clear? So any type, primitive or any user defined type, you can pass as a function argument, or you can return any primitive or what user defined type. Clear? I have taken, if you are not returning any value, in case of a return type, if you are not returning any value, then you will mention as void. Void, suppose multiplication function, and you are passing 2 arguments, but you are not returning anything. No return. No values return. Clear? This is the declaration of function. This is the return type, function name, and argument type. Clear? Today we will stop here, and in next video we will discuss some more about the function. Then what is types of a function, and many more about the function. We will discuss in next video. Thank you.